Hello students, this is Usha from GK Jain High Secondary School. Today we are going to see the Atomic and Nuclear Physics Part 3 in 12th Standard Physics. In this we are going to see about the atom model. Before I move into the topic, you can go into the GK Jain Schools in YouTube channel and you can subscribe and you can see more number of videos and get benefited. Let's move on to the topic, the atom model. Atomic and Nuclear Physics Part 3. In this we are going to see about today atom models. Around 400 BC, Greek philosopher Leucippus and Democritus proposed the concept of atom. Every object on continued subdivision ultimately yield atom. Later many physicists and chemists tried to understand the nature with the idea of the atoms, and many theories were proposed to explain the properties of bulk material on the basis of atomic model. In this we are going to see J.J. Thomson proposed a theoretical atom model which is based on static distribution of electric charges. Since this model failed to explain the stability of atom, one of its students, E. Rutherford, proposed the first dynamical model of the atom. Rutherford gave atom model which is based on the result of an experiment done by his student, but this model also failed to explain the stability of the atom. Next comes the Niels Bohr, who is also a student of Rutherford, proposed an atomic model for hydrogen atom which is more successful than other two models. Niels Bohr atom model could explain the stability of the atom and also the origin of line spectrum. There are the other atom models such as Sommerfeld atom model and atom model from wave mechanics, that is quantum mechanics, that we will learn in the higher classes. Now we are going to see J.J. Thomson model. It is also called as watermelon model. In this model, the atoms are visualized as homogeneous pairs which contain uniform distribution of positively charged particles, that is shown in the first diagram. And you can see in the second diagram the black color seeds which are called as negative charged particles. The negatively charged particle known as electrons are embedded in it like seeds in watermelon. The atoms are electrically neutral, which we all know that. This implies that the total positive charge in an atom is equal to the total negative charge. According to this model, all the charges are assumed to be at rest. But from classical electrodynamics, no stable equilibrium points exists in electrostatic configuration, and hence such an atom cannot be stable. Further, it failed to explain the origin of spectral line observation which in the spectrum of hydrogen atom and the other atom. Next is Rutherford model. Here the picture given here. In 1911, Geiger and Manderson did a remarkable experiment based on the advice of their teacher Rutherford, which is known as scattering of alpha particle by gold foil. The experimental arrangement is shown here. A source of alpha particle, that is polonium sample, is used here, which is a radioactive material, is placed inside the thick lead box with a fine hole, you can see, that is pointed in the diagram. The alpha particle coming through the fine hole of lead box passes through another hole, right, made on the lead screen. These particles are now allowed to fall on a thin gold foil, and it is observed that alpha particle passing through gold foil are scattered through different angles. A movable screen, that is it moved from 0 to 180 degree, which is made up of zinc sulfide, is kept on the other side of the gold foil to collect the alpha particle. Whenever alpha particles strike the screen, a flash of light is observed which can be seen through a microscope. So using microscope we can record the values. Rutherford proposed an atom model based on the result of alpha scattering experiment. So in his experiment, alpha particles are allowed to fall on atoms of a metallic gold foil. Now the first diagram shown over here. So the nuclear model given over here. Most of the alpha particles are undeflected through the gold foil and went straight. Second one, some of the alpha particles are deflected through a small angle. A few alpha particles are deflected through the angle more than 90 degree. Very few alpha particles return back, that is deflected back by 180 degree. So this is shown in the first and the second diagram. So these points I have discussed now. So some of the alpha particle without undeflected, they move in a straight line. Then some of them at smaller angle, they get deflected, and some of them through an angle more than 90 degree, and some of them back by 180 degree. Now you can see the diagram given here, scattering angle theta versus number of scattered particles deflected. So the dotted points are the alpha scattering experiment data point obtained by Geiger and Manderson, and the solid curve is the prediction from Rutherford nuclear model. It is observed that the Rutherford nuclear model is in the good agreement with the experimental data. Now we'll come to the conclusion made by Rutherford based on the above observation. From the experimental observation, Rutherford proposed that an atom has a lot of empty space and contain a tiny matter known as nucleus, whose size is of the order of 10 power minus 14 meter. The nucleus is positively charged and most of the mass of the atom is concentrated in nucleus. The nucleus is surrounded by negatively charged electrons. Since static charge distribution cannot be in a stable equilibrium, he suggested that the electrons are not at rest, because in Thomson he said the electrons are at rest position, but Rutherford said that they are not in the rest position and they revolve around the nucleus in circular orbit like planets revolve around the sun. Okay. Now we'll discuss the points. First one is distance of closest approach. The diagram shown over here. When the alpha particle moves straight towards the nucleus, it reaches a point where it comes to rest momentarily and return back. The minimum distance between the center of the nucleus and the alpha particle just before it get reflected back to 180 degree is defined as the distance of closest approach or not, and it is also known as contact distance. At this distance, all the kinetic energy of the alpha particle will be converted into electrostatic potential energy. We have learned in our first lesson. That is kinetic energy, half m v naught square is equal to the electrostatic potential energy. The formula is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r. Now here q1 is 2e and q2 is zg. So substituting the value, will get half m v naught square is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2e into zg divided by r naught. Take the r naught to your left hand side and all the term to the other side. So you will get r naught is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2z e square divided by half m v naught square, which can also be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2z e square divided by ek, where ek is the kinetic energy of the alpha particle. This is used to estimate the size of the nucleus, but size of the nucleus is always lesser than the distance of the closest approach. Further, Rutherford calculated the radius of the nucleus for different nuclei and found that it ranges from 10 power minus 14 meter to 10 power minus 15 meter. Next is impact parameter. The diagram shown here, the impact parameter is defined as the perpendicular distance between the center of the gold nucleus and the distance of the velocity vector of alpha particle when it is at a larger distance. Okay, that is shown here. So here they gives a relation between impact parameter and scattering angle as b proportional to cot theta by 2. To remove the proportionality, introduce your constant k. So you'll have b is equal to k cot of theta by 2, where k is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2 z e square divided by m v naught square, and theta is called the scattering angle. The above equation implies that when the impact parameter increases, the scattering angle decreases. Smaller the impact parameter, larger will be the deflection of alpha particle. Now we'll go into the last one, the drawback of Rutherford model. Rutherford atom model help in the calculation of the diameter of the nucleus and also the size of the atom. But it has the following limitations. The first one, this model failed to explain the distribution of electrons around the nucleus and also the stability of the atom. That is shown in the diagram. According to classical electrodynamics, any accelerated charges emit electromagnetic radiation. So due to the emission of radiation, what will happen? It loses its energy. So as longer it revolves, it's going to lose its energy, right? So what happened? They are not able to move in circular motion. They are not able to sustain in their circular motion. So the radius of the orbit therefore becomes smaller and smaller, shown in the diagram. And finally, the electron should fall into the nucleus and the atom should disintegrate. But this does not happen. Hence, Rutherford model could not account for the stability of atoms. And the second one is, according to this model, emission of radiation must be continuous and must give continuous emission spectrum. But experimentally, we observe only line, that is discrete emission spectrum for atoms. Hi students, you all have learned about the Rutherford atom model and J.J. Thomson model. Let we'll meet in the next video. Thank you.